All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CAGcast episode number 760. I'm your host, Cheapy here in Long Island, New York. And as always, we're joined by a man who can't wait to tell you that Zelda's trash from the trash can, Wombat.
Double trash from the trash can.
Probably going to have to wait till next week, actually, to say that.
For when I still haven't played it? Yes. Wait until next week where I still haven't played the game.
Right. Well, Shipwreck is going to explain it to you next week, and then you can tell him that it's trash from the trash can, just from his explanation.
That's fair. That is fair assessment.
Look, I'm looking forward to it.
He's nodding his head.
That,
you bought it.
Yeah, that 25% off deal on Amazon. That was a pretty good deal.
I don't see
that every day.
It was probably, well, that was some like live, they were like doing this shopping streaming thing.
Click on this streamer and then click on the coupon, then add the item from the list to the cart while the stream was going on. And then
that shit's $70.
Not for me, it wasn't.
I know. So I'm saying you made you had big savings.
Big savings, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was out the door for I don't know, $51 or something like that.
Nice.
That's reasonable for a game that'll take a while to get a discount.
Yes.
How long are these $70 Nintendo games going to wait to get discounted?
Oh, I don't know. That's a great question. I feel like it's going to be the usual.
Bag.
I think it's going to be the usual amount of time for it to see a discount. Why not?
You mean never?
Well, they get there eventually.
They get there eventually, and then they're like, we'll sell you this for $40 for like 2 weeks, and then we'll jack the price.
Right, that I could see. That I was just thinking that could happen.
And that's probably if I ever get the game, that'll be when it'll be.
So 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
What if the reviews come out this week and it's like, well, you can't even trust the reviews. These people they drank the Nintendo Kool-Aid they've been drinking it for 20 years, 30 years.
I feel like it's going to be pretty good.
Like,
I
mean, Breath of the Wild is GQ's #1 game of all time. We'll get to that later.
Yes.
What's the #2 game of all time?
I don't know.
Space Invaders.
There were 2 Souls games in the top 10.
And I can't even bring myself to look at that list. But like you said, we'll talk about that later.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I just spoiled my opinion on it.
Oh, there we go. I'm still here.
Yeah.
Did I go away? Ooh.
No, you're still there.
Okay. Sorry. I clicked on something on my iPad because we're just blown up here on my iPad on my calendar notifications. Apparently, we're going to be going to a lot of musicals. Like they just keep on showing up on my calendar here. Like Gretchen's just buying musical tickets.
That's what she's doing while you're doing the show.
Did you get like season tickets to your local theater?
Maybe. We're going to be seeing Beetlejuice.
Nice.
Going to be
National Touring Company.
I don't.
Michael Keaton.
Didn't say that. Yeah, Michael Keaton. We'll be seeing Clue. I don't know if that's a musical or not. Is that a musical?
I think it's just a play.
Okay.
I think it's the board game. She just bought the board game.
It could be. We're going to be playing Clue.
Yeah.
In I don't know, March of 2024.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
But yeah.
Nice.
So we got action happening over here of events to talk about in the future.
Nice. I think I'm going to Spain this summer.
Spain?
Nice.
Yes.
The country?
The country.
I've never been to Spain.
Me neither.
But I've been to Arizona.
Those are different places. I
know, it's a song.
Oh. Everything's a song.
Everything's a song. Yeah.
So what's been going on since we've been off? Wow, last week was your birthday week, but we didn't have a show.
I know. It was my birthday. It was not a good week. So we're going to forget it happened and we're going to move forward.
Can you get a redo on your birthday week or it's just
I mean,
over?
we're honestly like there have been moments where like let's do this because last week kind of was a disaster. Let's try to enjoy ourselves a little bit. Like this weekend we have a lot of plans and
have sex.
Yes, that's part of the agenda. I was sick last week, so that was part of it.
Yes,
and my uncle died. That was part of it on my birthday. Oh
no! What the fuck?
And Sabrina had like the worst week of her life last week, which it was just sort of a miserable week all around. And we're just kind of moving. We're moving forward. That's all you can do.
So don't make fun of you too bad this week.
I mean, it's fine. You two are not my problem.
Right.
If I really cared what you thought about me,
right,
I wouldn't.
That sounds like a challenge, though.
Right. Free pass this week.
All right. Woo. Oh, well, that sucks. Hopefully this week's almost over already. Well, hopefully it went better.
Yeah.
And you get a redo.
Yeah, I mean, it was like even like my birthday dinner, like we went someplace that we don't normally go to, and the food was bad. It was like just this like
it was like a joke.
You know what? It's like
those other Chili's.
Yeah, exactly. You know what's funny? We went to Chili's for dinner the Friday before my birthday as like a family birthday dinner because my kids still like Chili's and it's close.
Fuck your kids, man! Just go where you want to go.
I would rather not. But
it's crazy that you go to a Chili's. I feel like
we went to a steakhouse on Saturday.
Yes,
that was where
Outback
I want to go
Steakhouse.
dinner. You know, we went to Tom Steakhouse actually.
The navigation service.
Yes, Tom Navigation Service Steakhouse. They had. I got a filet mignon that was actually cooked perfectly. It was
turn
really
right
good.
for a delicious filet mignon.
It was really good.
So,
but anyway, that was, and we're going to Small Batch for Mother's Day. So
nice. We usually go there on special occasions, but not this time.
That's the only. It's funny because we had thought about going there for the birthday dinner, but I'm like, no, let's do that for Mother's Day because there are other people coming into town that have never been there, so it'll be more fun. But anyway, that's enough about that.
The spicy chicken sandwich is actually very spicy.
A sandwich?
Be warned.
Okay.
Be warned. If someone thinks about getting the spicy chicken sandwich and if they're wondering if it's spicy or not, I watched somebody order it, like the table next to me, and take a bite out of it and just like tap out immediately. And then like barely when the waiter came to pick up the food at the end, it was just like only bites were taken out of the outside rim of the sandwich. There was nothing. It was just like a cylinder of a sandwich.
So you're saying that my 85-year-old father-in-law should not order the spicy chicken sandwich?
I've had it and my head got very wet.
Okay.
So
I wonder if I can handle it. You know who would probably like that because he loves the spicy stuff is my son.
You can probably. I feel like you can handle that. It's not like, you know, I'm like kind of a lightweight when it comes to that. But anyway,
I would say I'm a middleweight. I'm not a heavyweight when it comes to spice. I would say somewhere in the middle. I don't.
Shipwreck is a heavyweight because he bought me those spicy potato chips and I could barely eat them, and it was a lot of potato chips.
I like spicy food.
Yes,
I like spicy. I could. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to like overstate my spice ability.
A little bit of pain. Like if we're talking about like Indian food, that's a different level because it's a totally different.
It's interesting.
Palate.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? It'd be like a mild that an Indian restaurant might fucking slay you.
Right. Like I still don't get that food yet.
Racist.
Like yes, my taste buds are racist about not knowing why is this so hot? Why am I crying while I'm eating this?
I love Indian food.
We have an authentic Indian place near us, and when we go, I don't say mild. I say extremely mild because sometimes mild it's Indian mild.
Just get tikka masala. That's never spicy.
I don't know.
I want to get the spicy stuff, but I want to understand like
you can get all the vindaloo you want, but Cheapy should stick to his tikka masalas.
I just don't understand how there's people that are eating it that aren't like sweating.
Practice,
right? Yeah. Like
and growing up with it. It's genetics. Same reason why you can't be in the sun, Ship. You can have the internal heat, but not the external heat. Mm-hmm. That's your DNA. Let's see. I had a steak dinner too, Wombat. Have you ever been to Old Homestead?
In the city?
In the city. It's supposedly
the oldest steakhouse in Manhattan.
In the country, supposedly. I believe that's what they say.
Well, both statements are true then.
True. I could have made that up though, but I think I read that.
Okay.
We had these friends come in from Japan who requested a steak dinner. And
I was there once. I think I'm no joke in 1999, 2000. Like it was that long ago.
It's probably
like
the same.
Years ago.
It probably hasn't changed much. But these guys are there's no real comparison in America or in New York, but they're like the premier real estate family of Tokyo or Japan. And it's just like Ty and their daughter went to daycare together when we were living in Tokyo, so we became friendly with them.
Did you make the dowry arrangements during the.
I mean, they sat next. I mean, the whole idea was for them to like hang out and stuff. I mean, not the whole idea, but part of the idea was. But I don't. Yeah, I told them. I said, "Hey, it's time, Matt, get married to her."
Pops.
So we went to Old Homestead, and it was pretty good. And they definitely had a lot of meat. But they also wanted to go to the Met game. They wanted to check out Citi Field since it was renovated. You know, the mom is on the board of directors of this big real estate company in Japan, and obviously baseball is very popular in Japan. I think she had been to the new Yankee Stadium. She wanted to check out Citi Field, which we did. We went during the doubleheader. They had a doubleheader because the game we were supposed to go to got rained out. And I guess like the second game of a doubleheader, like everybody just leaves by the second game because it was fucking just like empty.
You can only sit and watch so much baseball in a day.
Yes. And also, like, there were a lot of very drunk people too, because people were sitting there from, I guess the first game was at 1:00 in the afternoon, and we were there around 4. I witnessed not one, but 2 guys just walking, one inside the stadium, one outside the stadium after the game was over, just walking with their friends, holding a beer, and just in slow motion collapse onto themselves. One guy, I think they both did this. They spill the beer very slowly in front of them because their brain is just shutting down as they're walking. Spill the beer in front of them and then slowly fall into it. And still holding the cup that has some beer in it so that when they do hit the ground after it takes like 10 seconds for them to hit the ground, they can still spill more beer on themselves because they're still holding the cup in their hands. It's amazing to watch. And that happened twice.
Now, these people at
your
the game
friends got to see that.
They missed both of them, I believe.
Oh.
Were
these people at the game by themselves?
No, they were with their friends. Because one guy, when we were outside, the guy, when he was getting up, he was like, or his friends were trying to get him up. I heard him say sorry. Because it's embarrassing. But it made me think about like the whole like Mets or every sporting event, like the alcohol presence is so great now, especially at Citi Field. They opened up these bars now in like not just in the private areas, but they're just out in the open, like when you're walking the concourse level, just like bars sponsored by some tequila thing. It's just like everywhere. It's just like I saw, it got me thinking because I read this article that Ian Bogost, that guy that you hate, Chip? What's that guy's name? Ian Bogost? Yeah. He retweeted.
I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. I don't know that I hate him. Do I hate him for doing it?
No, you don't follow him probably.
Probably not.
That's the same thing.
Okay.
He tweeted like this article about the aesthetics of legal weed in New York because everywhere smells like weed in New York, in Manhattan. And he was like, it's like ridiculous. The article was talking about like how ridiculous it is that, you've got to do something about the smell. And I'm thinking, I'm watching dudes just fucking drop walking at a sporting event in the middle of the afternoon. Like, you're going to talk about bad smell. Let's talk about like the aesthetics of, people collapsing under their alcohol use or just projectile vomiting. I didn't see that day, but I don't know. It just made me think like, this is in the middle of the day, like on a Monday, Tuesday, I think. Well, Monday, it was a Monday. I don't know. I guess that's what you'd expect to see at a baseball game, like people drinking hard. I don't know. Is that like that in Cincinnati? Have you watched people collapse on
game?
Have you watched people just be walking and just
not collapse? I mean, beers are like $14 each, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like I don't know, like
where Ship sits at the Reds game.
They're served in a chalice.
There's no riffraff in the shipwreck section. So he goes in through a special entrance on his private escalator to the box where he sits next to Johnny Bench on one side.
Okay, you've drifted too far now. There's no Johnny Bench. All the rest of that
was okay.
Absolutely true.
I know.
Why would I get tickets to the place where all the food is included in the ticket price, right?
Right.
So
we don't have that in New York.
That's that. My uncle does that with the Yankees. I was invited once.
They have all the food included. Well, that's what Sundance has for.
It's all the food included except for the alcohol. So I get like a beer, maybe 2 when I go to Reds. I haven't been to a Reds. Like I went to 1 Reds game last year. I'll go to like 1 or 2 this year.
It seems like you may not be getting your money's worth.
They're real bad. What do you mean?
If you only go to 1 or 2 games and you're paying for the tickets. Oh, you're not paying for the.
I'm not season ticket holder.
Oh, you're just buying the fancy.
No, I got. Yeah, there's plenty of seats available.
Got it. Understood. Yeah. Mets are terrible. We had no problem getting tickets, but it's just like, I don't know. It's just you can say what you want about the weed smell in Manhattan, and you're right. Like it's a lot. It is like everywhere you go, you smell it. Even at the Mets game, not that one, but the one I went to before, I smelled people smoking weed at the Mets game. But they're not falling down and spilling drinks on each other, on themselves, and just like screaming at the top of their lungs like the players can eat a dick, and luckily there weren't enough people there so the Japanese people couldn't experience that part of it. But anyway, it was interesting.
Sounds it.
I have a what if scenario for you, Wombat.
Oh, I can't wait.
And it also involves weed.
Okay.
So this was on Monday because Mrs. Cheapy was working from home, and I'm walking in my living room and I look out the window. This is 9:30 on a Monday, 9:30 a.m. And I see 5 freshmen, high school freshmen, maybe sophomore, probably most likely freshman, right in like my front, like I got like that little cave area in my front. They're hanging out in there and they're vaping, probably weed. And I'm like, oh God, the camera is not deterring them. They're just like hanging out there. Come back a few minutes later, they're still there. And I'm like, well, am I going to go? Well, what would you do on that? You see these guys smoking weed they're clearly like high school freshmen, maybe sophomore. Now,
are they standing on my lawn?
Yes, they're on your property.
They're on my property.
They're on your property.
What I would do, what you can't do, is because
shoot them.
Yes. No, I have the scary dog. Not the big one, actually. The smaller one is the scary one.
I don't think. Yeah. Okay.
No, trust me. The smaller one does not like other people.
Okay.
And will snap and bark and bare her teeth.
Okay.
So I would just walk outside with her on the leash, like I'm about to go for the walk.
Oh, tricky.
And as soon as the little dog sees the strangers on our lawn, she will go ape shit, and she will go into I need to protect my lawn mode.
Right.
And I'll have to literally 2 hands hold her back.
Right.
And there's no doubt in my mind those kids would run as fast as they could away from my lawn and never show up again.
Or they would vape the dog.
I doubt it. But yeah.
In Ohio, you can shoot them, right, Chip? It's legal.
More or less.
Bear spray. Yeah. Bear spray? Well, I was just going to leave them alone. But when I left, I went and did something else, and I came back and I looked out the window, and now the kids are they're spitting. They're just like chains. I don't know. They're seeing who can spit the farthest or the most. It's just like one after
Don't
another.
You have sprinklers?
Yeah, can't you just use the same as the raccoon?
It's in the front. I don't have sprinklers there. So I stand in the front window and I just stand there until they see me. I have to make eye contact with them. And I wave at them like bye-bye, a bye-bye wave. And the kids just like waved back and didn't do anything. So I opened the window and I was getting mad now. And I opened the window, I was like, it's time to go. Oh no, I went downstairs actually. I at that point, because my wife was working, I was like, I opened the window, but then I went downstairs and went outside. And I was like, time to go, guys. And one of the kids he's like, yeah, we'll dip in a minute. And I was like, don't say dip to me. Like, do I look like I want to hear? Do
you own a hose?
I just it's not what I wanted to hear. I just wanted them to leave.
Out and
no, I just said, I just yelled. They probably could see the vein right here bursting in my head. And I just said, I yelled, it's going to be a lot better if you leave right now. And they did. But I would have just left them alone if they weren't spitting, to be honest. But they were way too young for that kind of nonsense. And I definitely wasn't smoking any weed in high school, so they're not allowed to either. That's the way I look at it.
So to be clear, just spitting, not dipping, spitting.
No, we don't
they were
do
going
that.
to dip.
No, they don't do that. We don't do that here. That's. Why bother when you have weed vapes now? Like that's.
Oh no, I was just trying to understand what.
No, they were just like
the slang was that was going on.
No slang
throughout this.
Literally,
I was confused for a second too.
What slang? Oh, the dip. We'll dip in a minute.
In a minute. Yeah,
that means like we'll leave.
They were also dipping,
but spitting is also dipping. Yeah.
Yes, they were. The guy was saying that they're going to be leaving in a minute, and I'm like, "You're ready now, Mister." Mm-hmm. What movie, Wombat?
That's Police Academy.
Thank you. I knew he would get it. Yeah. So. Yeah, that's how that.
So when are they going to come back and egg your house?
I don't think so. They could. And then I saw them later in the day. I was driving down Main Street and I drove right by the same group of kids. Like, don't these kids go to school at all? Like, what the fuck? It's Monday.
Not those kids.
The hell, man. And I told Ty about it, and he's like, yeah, like they have a real bad batch of freshman kids this year. Like, they had like an assembly about it. Like, there was like some kid. They went to some other school and beat up some kids. I hope it wasn't these guys. Shit, I better lock those doors.
Yep.
Anyway, I was just like, don't spit. It's too gross, man. You could almost deal with the breaking the law on my front yard, but the spitting I can't. Anyway, that's enough. I think. That's enough, actually. Although I will say one exciting thing that is happening. I'm now a table tennis consultant. Because I complained to USA Table Tennis that their website is too hard to figure out how to register for a membership. And then the president wrote me back right away saying that they're looking into it. And then the next day I got an email. They want to set up a meeting about how they can fix it. So then I just wrote up a whole thing and told them how to fix it, send it to them. So we could just skip the whole phone call. Pretty good. I did it for free though. I'm a hero. I don't want to use the word hero.
This should really increase their membership. I think this is what was causing the problems.
Well, I mean, the reason it happened is because I had a woman trying to sign up for our tournament here, and she could not figure out how to fucking get a USA Table Tennis membership. She's like, I'm on the website. Like, I just don't see. I'm clicking the button. There's just nowhere to sign up. And she was right. Like, it's fucking impossible. I solved it for them, though. I'll let you know how the meeting, he's going to be reviewing my changes, and he's going to get back to me this week.
Are you going to be named co-president or vice president? How does that work?
No, I won't be named anything, but yeah, man, I got so bummed out. I was in Dick's Sporting Goods today, and remember I complained how they have a pickleball section before, like, and there's like there's no fucking ping pong section except to sell you the balls to play beer pong. Now in the sneaker section, tennis/pickleball.
Okay.
It's on the wall now, written on the wall.
Sure, it's popular.
People like pickleball.
It's fucked up.
I bet their website's really just easy to register.
Right. I guarantee it. They've
doing it right now.
Yep.
Their website, probably like a pickleball player is not running it. Or like their organization is not run by a player. It's run by a guy who like makes money or like knows how to make a website or something. I don't know. Fucking pickleball, man.